Welcome back to Nicholas Comic Corner, Classic Last Known Classic. This episode number 2281, Doubleshot number 2175. We got Marvel DC trade for you. Two characters that are very cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, and there's also first trade of these particular series. First one we have is Deadpool by Alyssa, Wong, Volume 1. Yeah, and also the first Deadpool trade to be part of the Krakatoa stuff. Yeah, because all the X-rays now have got this banner where they just are like basically have these like spines. Yes. So this comes from Deadpool, I believe it is Volume 7, if I'm not mistaken. Let me think here. Is it 8? No. Okay, this is from Volume 9. Yes, Volume 9, which is still publishing right now. Yeah, and okay, so I should point out though, here's the strange thing though. This book, the previous volume, ended this very same month as the previous volume for Captain America, form for the current stuff that just wrapped up, and Black Panther. Black Panther got relaunched no less than 7 months later. Captain America about a year later. This book did not come out until well over a year later. This book was not released until November of last year. So, let me point out again. The previous one ended 2 years ago. This volume was released until November of last year. Of course, they have this prelude for this book in the issue of New Mutants Volume 3. Actually, it's Volume 4, which actually ended for some reason. So, yeah, a new Deadpool book. Not the first volume one, not the first new number one I've seen since the Brady Comics. As a matter of fact, with the exception of the original volume, I have seen every release of. I've been since the Brady Comics. Every single new number one for Deadpool has been released. Well, I've been reading comics except for the original volume. That's the only one. Yep. Yeah, I've been reading Deadpool now for, gosh, it seems like almost 20 years of reading Deadpool. And I reviewed a lot of the series. I reviewed the previous volume by Kelly Thompson, which that was actually a good run. I'm not sure why the book ended for. It's quite baffling. Yeah, that's the problem with Deadpool in the last 2 volumes, is that they didn't last very long. Apparently, either the sales weren't good, or apparently Marvel didn't have faith in the damn book. Because the last book ended after only 10 issues. 10 issues. And the volume before that, I think it was like 15 issues, not mistaken. Yeah, and that was a Scotty Young run. Yeah, this was the Scotty Young run. It was 15 issues. Good run. And then the book got restarted. Yeah. Oh, by the way, he had taken over the book after Gary Duggan had been on the book since like 2012. Yes, so by the time the final issue of Deadpool came out, when it was known as Deadpool, and in 2018, he had booked for 6 years. 6 years. And and by the way, I actually did ask Gary Duggan on Twitter why the end the run he did where Deadpool lost his memories. The reason why, because he wanted to give the writer who succeeded him, Scotty Young, a fresh start of the book, despite that he did restore the memory of having a daughter. This book is, I believe, the first time Deadpool is written by a woman since Gail Simone wrote the book at the end. Her run came at the end of the volume. If you're curious, though, about basically when Gail Simone started her run, this, of course, was the original volume. No, not that book. Not that one. Actually, For some reason, they included the miniseries as part of the Wiki page for some reason. So, let's see. Takeaway 2. So, this is Volume 7. Yes. So, they had Gail Simone in the book as the final writer of the book. Yeah. Gail Simone. Yes. Who came on the book with issue 65. That was back in 2002. So, when that book ended just a few issues later, and you have this book started here, this is the first time Deadpool's by a woman, at the time this came out, first time in 20 years. What's the plot for this book? Deadpool is hired by the Assassin's Guild to kill Dr. Octopus. That is not a joke. That is seriously the plot of this damn thing. And we also have Lady Deathstrike here. Her awesome brother, Lord Deathstrike. It is so odd. By the way, aside of Alyssa Wong on the writing, we have Martin Calico on the artwork. The cover art, the prelude is done by Gareth Shaw, and that's the artist who does that one. I believe Alyssa Wong also does the short story, the thing too. So it's just a New Mutants issue, which I gotta love the artwork. The artwork's really good because, well, why not feature Deadpool? It is interesting though. We have a story for Deadpool Lee's Deadpool book, which, fun fact, this is kind of how we got to start with Deadpool when they debuted back in the 90s. Made the first appearance issue of New Mutants. It was actually the 98th issue, which people know this. It was the third to last issue of the run before the book started as X-Force. So yeah, at the start of this run we have, well, Deadpool. We had this new one, Horror, which I believe she's an original character. I'm thinking she's an original character. No, she is. She's actually from the Avengers Curse the Man-Thing one-shot. Yeah, she's a Steve Valeno character. I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah, she appeared in the Curse the Man-Thing one-shots, and of course she appears in this volume. These issues for Deadpool. She appeared in the first 5 issues, pretty much appeared in this whole run. Yeah, and this book gets really weird. So, also one thing I got to note though about this book, they use something with Deadpool's gloves I've never noticed before, where it's got like black marks on them, where basically notes where his knuckles are. I've never noticed before for this book, and also this weird symbiotic stuff happening here. Well, there's a reason for that. So he's hired by, I think it's the Assassin's Guild. What is the name of this group? Okay, it goes the Alatir. That's the name of the book. Name of the group. And they're pretty much the main focus of this book. So, the members are the Horned Emperor, which you know who the heck this guy is, because his face is cloud and fog. Last Bite, Allocation, Misker, Alistair, Lord Deathstrike, who is a Mirror, and Drop. Lord Deathstrike is the only familiar character here, mainly because we know about his beautiful sister, Lady Deathstrike. And he's a Jason Aaron character. Yeah, everyone else here is a creation of the writer Alyssa Wong, but he is the only one here who's a familiar face because, like, if you're basically a longtime comic fan, you look at these characters and you see like, oh cool, Lord Deathstrike is here, awesome. You see Risker like, who the heck are these guys? So we have this woman who can use needles, and her name is, let's see if I can find it. Let's see here. Her name is Vanessa Wong, and she is in all these issues. Yeah, she's pretty much like a supporting character. I think she's supposed to be Deadpool's new love interest. Possibly, I'm not sure. Oh, okay, so I read up on her. Apparently she's listed, her gender is non-binary. I am not a fan of non-binary stuff. It's a woman. This person is a woman. And yet they list their gender as non-binary. Give me a freaking break. So yeah, basically he's hired to kill him. Dr. Octopus, obviously. Horror is here. Of course, he's interfering. Of course, he had 40 hours to kill her. Yeah, and here's the thing. Dr. Octopus encountering Deadpool. This is kind of weird because I don't think they've mentioned before. And they mentioned something about Carnage is coming. Like, Carnage? What are you talking about? Well, also we give Dr. Octopus a redesign. Yes, he gets redesigned. I don't know why in the world he gets a redesign for. It's weird. Yeah, as far as I can tell, I don't know the reason why. They decided to have... This is basically, I think, the first thing he's put in the comics since the events of Devil's Reign. I believe so. Let's see. Okay, so I was kind of correct. He was appearing in Amazing Spider-Man. He appeared like a couple issues of this book per se. I think he had just appeared in let's see. He had just appeared in issue 900 for Amazing Spider-Man. He also appeared in Amazing Fantasy 1000 prior to this book. And he's only just this one story arc. I think it's maybe the first time he appeared in a Deadpool comic. So yeah, we deal with potential return of Carnage, which I'll get as he fights Octopus's lab, and then the hot Lady Deathstrike shows up. Yes, so claws away at Dr. Octopus, like, oh yeah, because apparently she is Deadpool's partner in all this. Deadpool's like, what the heck are you talking about? Of course, he cuts out the Carnage stuff. Yep. Yeah, so... And look at this. Here's a close look at Deadpool's fingers. Like, I don't know if prior to this run basically had those because I've never seen this before because the artist just loves basically when they show a close-up of Deadpool's hands, they have to have these marks on all what you see his knuckles. Like, every part basically his finger bends, they have to have that there for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, and we get more weird stuff, more monsters. Issue 4 has the most weirdest ending I've seen. Well, actually, first he fights people at the Metropolitan Zoo, fights some other creatures. Yes. And then we have... Oh boy. So we have basically, working with Otto Octavius. And then the issue ends with the return of Cletus Cassidy. And you're thinking, what? Cletus Cassidy alive? Wait, aren't you dead? Didn't Venom kill you by stabbing you with a lead pipe? Yeah, it turns out this is a clone. Yes, a clone of Cletus Cassidy. Yeah, and then of course, basically, Dr. Octopus just does whatever he wants afterwards. And of course, well, Deadpool goes on his own, and then we have, the LA Guild basically goes after them, and that's the end of the book. Yeah, this book is just weird. Like, okay, Dr. Octopus, a clone of Cletus Cassidy? Yes, because Cassidy is still dead. Yeah, his body's gone. So, it's weird they bring back Carnage. And here's the thing, he does remember Deadpool. Yes, I'm glad Alyssa Wong remembers that. He has the Deadpool has found before in the Deadpool vs. Carnage miniseries. Of course, he is not asked about the fact where the heck Shriek is because Shriek's dead. Yeah, she got killed off. She got killed off in a tie-in miniseries of absolute carnage. A character who's heavily associated with Carnage, and she gets killed off on a tie-in. Yeah. Interesting start for this run. This book at 9 out of 10. Next up we have a start of a mini-series. Monkey Prince. Excuse me, yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, the guy who wrote this is the guy who previously wrote New Superman, Gene Lee Yang, who also wrote or Marvel the Shang-Chi series. This collects for 6 out of 12 issues for the series. Now, like they got probably like, oh, DC's next big time superhero, and he doesn't really appear after this book. It wraps up. Yeah, this book was only a limited series. I don't remember him pop up after this one. No, I don't think so. Yeah, this is basically Monkey Prince Volume 1 Into the Monkey. Yeah, this is basically the first. They say, well, the first appearance chronologically of the character. Okay, but they say the character first appeared in DC Festival of Heroes Agency for Celebration. Like, okay. So, if you're really curious, though, like, does he appear, like, outside this book? Yeah, he appeared in, like, well, 2 one-shots and an issue of Alyssa of the DC Universe, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so the Monkey Prince here is the son of a character named Monkey King, which I don't remember this character existing. Yeah. One of the gods of China. Yeah, so, by the way, how this is... He's actually human. This is accomplished by this device that's strapped to his chest. Oh, and I did hear something... Critical Theory brought this up. Apparently, the series didn't do too well financially. That's probably the reason why they kept the 12 issues. So, the first issue opens with apparently Batman beating up the main character's parents. Yeah. That's a weird start. Yep, so... Then we have the Penguin show up. Yes, the frickin' Penguin. By the way, this artwork here... artwork's really good, by the way. The artwork is done by Bernard Chang. Okay. Good artist. Good choice. I like that. So, we have more Chinese stuff here. My guess is the reason why they brought this character in, at least created him, is probably because they need a Chinese comic book. Because New Superman's over with. There probably is some demand for some Chinese superheroes, so why not create a new character? So yeah, so he gets away, tries to go to school. Like, here's the Monkey King. That's him. The guy who is the father of the main character. Who, by the way, first appeared in issue 0. And then he transforms. And then he runs into Batman and Robin. And by the way, Robin is wearing the outfit he wore part of the Joshua Williamson series. So apparently the way it shut off is by like a device on it, like it basically eject his head via a button pushed on his shoulder pad. Okay. Yeah. So fighting the monkey, like fighting Batman and Rob, like that's interesting. Yeah, Robin shows up Batman shows up a few times in this book. And of course, I get back to normal, and of course, the device goes on his chest, his belly, his arm, but it won't be rid of him. So he transforms. And you're thinking, Chinese character, does he encounter the new Superman character in this book? Yeah, does he encounter him? Does he encounter Kong Kenan? Does he appear at all in this entire series? You want an answer to that? He doesn't. At all. And I do not know the reason why. He just doesn't. Yep. So Yeah. So it's like they're trying to establish him. Of course, he's still fighting Damien here. So it's a very interesting book per se. Lots of Batman and Robin throughout this whole book. Like, is like any other character in this book who's not Batman and Robin or the freaking Penguin. Like, kind of as a girl, like, okay, like, is there like familiar characters in this book aside from those three? Well, we do see apparently he tries to, apparently in Monkey Prince Zero, we have a brief cameo by Darkseid. Yes, frickin' Darkseid. Like, okay, interesting. And then we see Aquaman. Yeah, because it goes Amnesty Bay because he, well, wants to meet Aquaman. Like, okay, interesting. Yeah, the book ends basically like a cliffhanger with Big Stick and Mercy Part 2. He just off in like another dimension. He's in the Phantom Zone, like his father is. And that's it. It's an interesting start for the series. When I get Volume 2, when it comes out. I'll give this book a 9 out of 10. I do like the character Monkey Prince. It's just that, well, like, here's kind of the thing. Like, you try to establish a new character, fine. Can we feature other characters besides Batman and Robin and Aquaman? Like, heck, I love appearance by Kanan Khan. But he doesn't appear in the damn book for some reason. Yeah, he doesn't. Don't know why. Okay, so that's episode of you. I will do one more, but I'm going to save for tomorrow. Okay? Next video. Bye.